Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Hey, mama. If you are a mom and are tired of the wash, rinse, repeat burnout cycle of motherhood, this podcast is for you. If you feel lonely and isolated in your motherhood journey, this podcast is for you. If you feel like you have completely lost your identity since your babies were born, this podcast is for you. If you feel like every other mom has it together except for you, this podcast is for you. My name is Amanda, and I'm a life coach dedicated to teaching every mom the tools she needs to liberate herself off the back burner. I am living proof that a woman can be present and loving to her kids while also being a whole ass person outside of being that kid's mom. The secret? Learning when to say fuck it. Hello. I'm finally back. It's been way too long. And I was about to apologize, which is why I stumbled just now. I was about to say, I'm so sorry, but I'm trying really hard. Been working for a while on not apologizing for just any little thing, because women are socialized to apologize all the time. I just noticed myself apologizing for everything. And so I am very, very intentional now as to when I actually apologize. So for me, an apology is required when I do something that, when I look back, is out of integrity with the person who I know myself to be or the person that I want to become. So I'm not sorry, actually, for stepping away from the podcast and from social media. And here's why. I needed to. My family needed me to. There was so much going on in my personal life, and I could have hustled and tried to do all of the things, but I would have burned out. And so I intentionally stepped back. So I'm not sorry, but I know it's been a very long time, and I've missed this space so much, and I've missed my audience. I've missed my mamas. I've missed just connecting with all of you in this way and diving into my own creativity in this way. I really, 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 really love this space. I love this work that I do. So I'm very happy to be back. And so for this episode, I just wanted to do like a coffee chat, like friends who haven't seen each other in a while because life got fucking busy, and we're just meeting at Starbucks and having a chat with some coffee and being like, hey, bitch, what's up? I haven't seen you in a while. What's been going on? If you're watching the video, you will see that I am in Christmas gear, and you might be thinking, Amanda, you fucking lost your mind. No, I haven't. It's Christmas in July, okay? And only God can judge me. Got my Santa earrings, my Christmas shirt, and my Santa mug. And you know what? I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry because it makes me happy. Okay? Christmas is too fucking magical to just be once a year. And at the end of the year, I don't want to wait until the end of the year. So Christmas in July, bitches. I got my monthly, I almost said scholarship, Jesus Christ, my head, subscription to the Hallmark channel back last night. Watched a Hallmark movie. It was delightful and cheesy with horrible acting and horrible transitions, and it just filled me with so much joy. And that's what we all need. We just need joy for the sake of joy. Hallmark movies fill me with so much joy. They're horrible. They're just horrible, and they're cheesy, and they're unrealistic, and they're formulaic, and I just eat that shit up. It makes me so happy. So, I am so sorry for the coughing that will be happening throughout this episode. There's not much I can do about it because my asthma has just been out of control. from the Canadian wildfires that have been going on since May. I live in Wisconsin, and like the northern part of Wisconsin too. So our air quality has been absolute shit. It's just so ironic because we had such a long winter. It was like snowing into April, and then the weather's finally nice and it's shitty air quality. So I can't even enjoy being outside because I just got off of a round of steroids. They put me on prednisone because my asthma was just like out of control. So got steroids taking orally and then 2 different inhaled steroids. I've been a steroid psychopath the last week. It's not been fun. I have not been fun to be around. I'm aware of that. God, I hate steroids. Have any of you been on steroids before? They're just the worst, but they're so necessary for people with lung conditions and lung diseases and stuff like asthma, sadly and unfortunately. My congested cough right now, this is so much better than it was before. If that's any indication of like where my lung status was and has been, this is me sounding significantly better. So cheers. So I just wanted to like chat with you guys. I've had such a crazy like 2 months. Yeah, like no longer than that. Let's just go with 2 months. With just like sicknesses that were going through my house, and one of my daughters had surgery and I got sick too, and just all of these different things and all of it happening at once. My dog swallowed a needle last weekend. Just the craziest fucking shit. And it all happens in a silo, right? It's just like all at once because why not? Which again was why I took a step back from the podcast and from marketing and social media. And I just focused on the clients that I had, and I focused on taking care of myself and focused on taking care of my kids because that's what absolutely needed to happen in this season. But just all of the shit, you guys, it was such a crazy time. So we had a stomach virus that went through our household for 2 weeks because it went one by one. And now after this experience, because I was going back and forth before this last stomach bug, horrendous plague, as to whether it's best for it to go through us one by one or all at the same time. Because a stomach bug hitting everybody at once, like that is some rough shit. Like, it's any mom who has been there, like you do not know willpower and self-control until you are holding in your own vomit because you are catching your kids' vomit and you're waiting for them to be done so that you can vomit on top of their vomit. Nothing will teach you resiliency like a stomach bug going through your household. And when all of the bathrooms are taken and someone is like, I need a poop, like it's just a special kind of chaos that drives you to tears, and you understand like, okay, I get how the Oregon Trail family just died of dysentery, you know, like they just like fucking were done for. It's over. We're all just shitting our brains out until we die. That's what I felt like. This one was really bad. The one that we just got is so bad, but it went through us one by one. And I've now decided that is way worse. I would rather just get it over and done with because it lasted for 2 fucking weeks of vomit and diarrhea. And it was bad vomit and diarrhea. I'm talking like one of my kids is a sleep puker. One, she just will puke in her sleep and not wake up at all, which, you know, hello, dangerous. So I spend my nights just waking her up so she doesn't choke on her vomit. But then she had it coming out of both ends, poor thing. And she kept waking up in a pool of her own diarrhea. Like, notice I said kept waking, like it kept happening. I don't know what was causing this year's stomach virus, but I was almost like, okay, this is how we're going to die. This is it. This is it for us. There's no way. And I just had this breakdown moment. I don't remember where I was in the, like, you know, I'm pretty sure I was like right smack in the middle, right? Like I'd gotten a couple kids through it, and then another one was coming down with it again. And I just was sobbing to my mom on the phone. It's just like, I'm just so tired. And I have to do so much laundry. I did 5 loads of laundry last night, and I'm just so tired. Because that's what stomach bugs do to you, right? Just all of the laundry and then all of the carpet cleaning because they're running to the bathroom and they're not making it. It's disgusting. So anyways, we did that. And somehow, even though, so my girl's father and I have 50-50 custody. So we do 1 week and 1 week. So even though we were sick for 2 weeks, he never got it, which I'm sorry, that's not fucking fair. I got it and I got really sick. And B, somehow 3 of our 4 children were with me when they got sick. He only got 1 child and she was like the least sick of all of them. That's not fair. I'm just going to call it out. Universe, that isn't fair. That is bullshit. What the fuck? So I had a lot of thought work to do on myself during these times so that I didn't get stuck in victim mentality and bitterness and rage at the injustice of life. But we survived the stomach virus hellhole plague. And then we got like a respiratory thing that really, I think it might have just been me. I don't even remember anymore, you guys. Okay, I got sick. I got really sick after getting really sick with a respiratory thing. I got tested for COVID, influenza A and B, strep throat, and RSV, and everything came back negative. So I have decided that I'm going to call this mystery disease that apparently I've discovered as death warmed over, because that's exactly what it felt like. I was fucking just done. And I'm not a pussy bitch. I'm a Capricorn, okay? Like, I work all day, every day, grinding. I like climb mountaintops before most people are even awake. And I'm just like, what? You're tired? Like, that's my work ethic. This thing fucking wiped me on my ass. So I don't know what the fuck it was. Science doesn't know what the fuck it was. So we are calling it death warmed over. And you know what? Death warmed over was going around because there were other people that I was talking to who, like, their families were coming down with it too. And then one of my daughters came down with it recently, and she got tested for all of the things. Everything came back negative, and yet she was running like 103 degree fevers. And then eventually she finally got an ear infection, so they gave her an antibiotic, and she started feeling much better, thank God. But yeah, death warmed over. Look out for it. It's a bitch. But, you know, I wanted to just take a moment to talk to you guys about the importance of taking care of yourself. Okay, because it was really frustrating for me. It's always really frustrating for me and my personality type when I'm forced to take a step back. I'm forced to rest. I'm forced to just do nothing because my body isn't cooperating. Like, rude. I don't do well at all with that. It's not in my nature to be I can't think of the word, copacetic towards that. But this time I just told myself, okay, Amanda, we're going to intentionally take care of ourselves. And I don't know if other people talk to themselves like that, like in the third persons. Like, I just do sometimes. It's fine. It's normal. Whatever works for you. But, So just take care of yourself with intention. And it's a small thing, but it makes such a huge shift in the energy in your body when you do that. Because when you're resisting being sick and you're resisting the fact that you're going to have to take time off of work, you're going to have to just lay in bed and do nothing. You're going to have to let the dishes pile up. You're going to have to do all of these, like just let everything go in order to take care of yourself instead of laying there in bed and resisting it. When you do that, you're mad and you're like, I always fall into negative self-talk of like, oh, just push through it. You know, it's not a big deal. You can still show up and go to work and do the things, even though you feel shitty, and just, you know, sleep later. Like, it's fine. Just keep going. And when I do that, it just feels so gross in my body, and it makes my whole experience so much more stressful. My anxiety instantly goes up. And instead, when I gave myself permission to be sick, and I gave myself permission to just rest, and I said, hey, Amanda, I'm so sorry you're feeling this way. I'm going to take care of you. It was just calm. I didn't have that anxiety. I didn't have the anxiety of all of the things that I wasn't doing. I didn't have the anxiety of all of the things that I was that I would need to get caught up on when I came back, because I just let it go. And so the next time that you get sick, my dear listener, I want you to give yourself permission to be sick. And see what a difference just that, in and of itself, just that one little, oops, I hit my mic. That probably sounded really bad. I'm sorry, guys. Just that one little shift makes for you. It's huge. It sounds stupid when you first are just like listening to it, like, oh, that's not gonna, it makes a huge difference. This is literally like my work, what I do for a living, because it makes a huge difference. So the next time you're sick, mama, you're going to give yourself permission to be sick. You're going to give yourself permission to be tired, and you're going to give yourself permission to just lay in bed and binge watch a show. I decided to binge watch The Umbrella Academy. Highly recommend. Loved it. Great show. Cannot wait for the next season. My daughter Aria got me hooked on it. She started watching it and she's like, Mom, you got to watch this show. It's so cool. She was right. It's really good. And it's not like a kid show. It's like superhero type thing, but not kid. That doesn't help with my with my argument that it's not a kid show. It's good. I recommend it. I really loved it. And then my oldest daughter, Eowyn, she had to have knee surgery on May 18th. So my kiddo dislocated her knee at the end of March doing a backward somersault in gym class. Like, I'm sorry, this kid is amazing. Like, she's a competitive dancer. She's danced her entire fucking life. The things that she can do with her body are ridiculous. Like, ridiculous. She'll throw herself into an aerial, like chin stands and all these other things that I don't even know the fucking name of them. And a backward somersault takes her out. Like, isn't that just life? It's always the stupidest little things, right? Like sneezing and you throw your back out. But my poor baby. So this was her second dislocation in a year and a half on that same knee, obviously. And the first time she dislocated it, she was just going to sit down. It was just the motion, the movement of, bending your knees to sit down, and her kneecap just slid out. So she's always been pretty loosey-goosey. She's always been very naturally flexible. And so it wasn't a huge shock to me when these things happened, but heartbreaking, obviously, because you don't want to see your kid in pain. But I'm going to do an entire episode just dedicated to the lessons that I learned walking my kid through that and watching her rise up and just be the resilient, badass motherfucker that she is through this, because God, that kid is incredible. She's incredible. All of my kids are so incredible. I'm so lucky. I have 4 incredible daughters. They're all so unique, and they're all so different, and they're all so strong in their own unique ways. And every time I get the honor of, I'm getting emotional. I get the honor of watching them and being by their side as they're expressing their strength and they're showing the world their strength. It's the best. It's why being a mom is the best. But anyways, yeah, my little Aowen had to have surgery. We were going back and forth as to whether or not, like, to try to do physical therapy and let it heal or do the surgery, especially since she's not done growing. She's officially at least as tall as me, if not a tiny bit taller, but she's somehow not done growing yet. Her growth plates are still open. But ultimately, after going back and forth with the orthopedic surgeon who got advice from a pediatric orthopedic surgeon out of state, we did decide to just go ahead with the surgery because they said it was going to be like a 70% chance of redislocating it for a third time, because every time it dislocates, everything just gets looser and looser and looser, and it's just going to keep doing it. But it was so heartbreaking because she was having such a strong dance season. This was really like her season. She got her point shoes in ballet this year, and she just has such a her team is really strong this year. They were like winning everything, and then she got hurt and she missed the last 2 competitions. So I wanted to do everything that I could to help her through this and help her come back stronger and help her come back as fast as possible. And so I am delighted to say that my daughter, who had surgery to repair her knee on May 18th, will be dancing with her team at Nationals July 10th. I'm so fucking proud of that kid. Again, that's a whole episode all on its own. I should interview her. That would be fun to have her on, like interview her and stuff and get her perspective and everything on it. But because so much of it was thought work, and a big reason of me stepping back during this time was so that I could focus on her. I had the clients that I had, I focused on my current clients, and then I made Aowen my primary client, because recovery is like 95% mindset. And I knew that. And I was telling her, I was teaching her this, and I was teaching her tools, and I was walking her through pain management and helping her get back up, even though it really, really hurt, physically hurt. And she had to get over that mind hurdle of, oh God, this hurts so bad. I don't want to move. Everything in me is screaming at me not to move because it hurts so bad. And then teaching her how to rein those thoughts in, teaching her how to know that she's safe in her body, and helping her to move anyways, even though it hurts. It was a tremendous amount of work, but she did it because she's amazing. And now she's going to dance with her team in July. Like, what? It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible what the mind is capable of. And I'm just going to be a mess watching her perform. I'm just going to be shamelessly sobbing in the audience watching my baby girl perform after all that she's been through. Oh, and my kids started a business because why not? You know, entrepreneurship runs in the family. So their business is called Sisterly Bracelets, and I'm going to share links to their socials in what is it called? Show notes. There we go. The show notes of this episode. So they started this business because two of their friends wanted to do competition, but their parents were like, we're not paying for that. And my kids' response to that was, oh, well, that's fine. That's not a problem. We'll just start a business and make the money, and then they can dance because we'll just make the money. Guys, I just am in love with my kids. They're the best. Hands down, the best. So I was also helping them start their business because Eowyn, she had her surgery, and then I pulled her out of school because she was in so much pain. And I was just thinking, like, wait, this doesn't make sense. There's only like 3 weeks of school left. She's an exemplary student. No, she's not going back physically in school. And I just called the principal and told him that. I'm like, she's not coming back. You need to set up some sort of virtual accommodations because this doesn't make sense. And because she was such an exemplary student, all of her teachers just said, you're fine. We'll freeze your grades from here. Just get better. So she was bored and while she was recovering. So she went gung-ho on this business. So we set up all the different accounts, made a logo, and got a bank account, and they're just kicking butt. The studio owner for our dance studio let them have a table at the recital, so they could sell bracelets and stuff during the intermissions, and they made almost $300. But the caveat to that was my house was full of beads and string and needles, which brings us back to the dog swallowing a needle. Swallowed a needle. My idiot dog, who I love dearly from the bottom of my heart, swallowed a fucking needle last Saturday. You guys, I watched it happen. He was like doing this weird like movement with his mouth, and I was like, what the fuck do you have? What are you trying to eat? And I saw the glint of the metal. I was like, oh my God, that's a needle. And I tried to get his mouth open so I could get the needle out. The fucker growled at me and was like gonna bite me. And so I took my hands off of him, and then I was going back to go get it, and he swallowed it. Why? This dog eats like a lot of tissues and tampons, like paper products. Those are his jam, you know. I once saw a rope that was like this long. And if you're just listening, let's see, I don't know what this is, like 6 inches, 5 inches, whatever. Whole. He pooped it out whole. He swallowed that rope whole and then shat it out whole. I swear, this dog is a goat that's been reincarnated. But a needle? What is the... There's no pleasure in that. Why? It was like hurting his mouth. The idiot. So I rushed him, and of course it happens on a Saturday because it always happens on a Saturday, right? So I had to I was calling around to local animal hospitals and stuff, and the first 2 that I called were at capacity. Now, I live in Wisconsin, in a small town in Wisconsin. My town doesn't have a grocery store, which makes it sound super hicky. It's really not. It's not, because like we're just in between 2 bigger like towns, cities, whatever. We're just like a little sneeze in between the 2 bigger cities. We're just like a little on your way. So I have a grocery store within like a 15-minute drive. But like the town that I live in is rather small. But because we live right on the Minnesota border, basically, the Twin Cities is only 45 minutes away. So the U of M Animal Hospital Emergency, whatever the fuck they call themselves, University of Minnesota, I had to go all the way over there. This was the weekend that Taylor Swift was in town. So I was like, yay, traffic. But actually the traffic wasn't that bad, thank God, because I was just imagining the worst Swiftie traffic. Rushed my dog all the way over there. They had to do an endoscopy to get the fucking needle out, but they got it out and he was doing fine. And he was doing fine for like the first couple days. And then he wasn't. Then he was barfing and there was blood in the vomit. And I was like, what the fuck's going on with my dog? He kept having these really intense diaphragm spasms. And it got to the point where he was like spasming so hard that his whole body went rigid and he like fell over. It looked very like seizure-like. That happened twice. The second time that it happened was this last Friday morning, which also happened to be the morning when my oldest two were flying as unaccompanied minors for the first time in their lives to meet their dad and their sisters in Florida. They went there ahead of time. Doesn't matter why. It's irrelevant. But like I was stuck in this position where my dog needed to go back to the hospital. I was like, what the fuck? He's like seizing on me. He's going to die. Like diarrhea all day and all night long. And plus the bloody vomit. And I called and I was like, listen, I have to get my kids to the airport, which is right near there. Okay. It's all Minneapolis. Can I please drop my dog off? And then so he can start getting triaged and all that stuff. I'll take my kids to the airport and then I'll come back after their flight takes off. And at first they were like, oh, well, I don't really know if we can do that because I don't know if we have the staff available. Is there anybody who can, just come and sit with him? I'm like, no, I'm a single mom and all of my family is in California. It's literally just me. But if you don't take him, me driving back and forth from my house to the airport and then sitting with my kids, getting them on the airplane, and then driving back to my house in traffic, and then driving all the way back over to you guys, I won't be able to get the dog to you until 4 p.m. And I don't know what the fuck's happening. I'm worried he's going to die on me. They were able to make accommodations. So dropped the dog off, got the kids to the airport, got them on the plane. And that was a whole thing, right? Sad and emotional and worried about my kids. It was just weird having them fly on their own. And this is the first time that their dad has taken them on vacation. So this is the first time any of my kids have traveled without me. I've taken them on many trips since their dad and I divorced. But this is the first time he's done it. So this is the first time they've traveled without me, the first time they've really been away from me for this long, because even when they're with him, I see them all the time because he and I share taxi duties. We help each other out in that way for two reasons, because it's just a lot for one person to manage on their own. And also it gives whichever parent the kids aren't staying with, gives them a chance to see the kids throughout the week, because we're at the dance studio 4 days a week. So I had all of that going on emotionally. And then I was just so worried about my dog. He's 13 years old. I got him when I was pregnant with Aowen, with my firstborn. And we got him when he was 2 weeks old because his mom had a clogged milk duct. So she almost died of a infection, mastitis. And so we got him when he was 2 weeks old, and we had to bottle feed him and stimulate his butt and his penis so that he would poop and pee. That's what you have to do with super young puppies. He was my first baby, and he's the only male who has made every cut so far. Such a fucked up joke, but it's also true. And I joke all the time, like, Chewbacca's my soulmate, like, we're both just gonna die, an old couple together. And even though he's 13, he's really, really healthy. He's not on any medications. He doesn't have any major health. He's healthy. He's just a healthy dog. So most people see him like running around the neighborhood and stuff. And they ask me like, oh, how old is the puppy? I'm like, he's 13. And they're just like, what? He's in great shape. He is. He's in great shape. And so I just was like in this turmoil of, my God, it would be so tragic if he dies because he's in such great shape. He's so healthy. Like, he's not supposed to go out this way. Plus, we got the needle out. So why? I still don't know why, guys. Like, I have no idea. They gave me some medication, which the fucker won't take. He and I have been in a fucking willpower struggle with the medication because sometimes, like, he's fine and he'll take it. And then other times he's just literally giving me the finger. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with my dog. He's still alive. Thank God. My kids made it to Florida safely. Thank God. Their layover got rescheduled like 4 times, which was also very stressful. I kept getting all these updates while I'm waiting to hear news from the doctor about my dog, who at the time I was convinced was dying, right? And my phone keeps going off and I was like, what the fuck is happening? I can't handle this today. Just a mess, just a hot mess express. Oh my God. Life is crazy. Oh God. And I didn't even talk about Father's Day weekend. See, I had so much going on. So I'm pretty sure I've talked about how I lost my father, December 2021 to COVID. So last Father's Day was the first Father's Day without Dad. And I was traveling with AON for nationals. We had to travel that day. So I was busy and distracted and it didn't feel like Father's Day. I had my kiddo with me, and I love traveling. So I don't know. This year, however, kids are obviously with their dad, and my sister was having a really hard time. And I wasn't really sure how I was going to be feeling. I was, going up to it, I was feeling okay. But my sister was really struggling, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, wait, she's alone in California. I'm alone over here in Wisconsin. Why? Like, why? We should just be together. And so I booked a flight to California. One of my best friends just had her first baby. Oh my God, he is perfect. I'm going to just tangent right now to just talk about this bundle of perfection that is this little baby. Oh my gosh, I just love him so much. So I got to meet him. He's perfect. Got to spend 2 days with her and her perfect baby, who I love so very much. And then I spent the rest of the weekend with my sister, and we went to Disneyland, and it's so fun going to Disneyland as an adult, like without your kids. I love going to Disneyland with my kids, okay? Love it. I love seeing like their eyes light up when they see their favorite characters and stuff, and going on rides with them, especially like the older ones with the rides. Love going to Disneyland with my kids. I'm taking them back to California in August, and we're definitely doing Disneyland. But there's something really fun and just wonderfully indulgent about going to Disneyland, like an adult Disneyland day without your kids. So I highly recommend, if you enjoy Disneyland, if you're a Disney person, do it. Just do it. Plan a selfish adult Disney day. You will not regret it. It's the best. You get to go at your own pace instead of like the hyperactive pace of your children. You're not being pulled in 50 different directions because the older ones want to go to Space Mountain and the younger ones want to wait in line to meet whoever the fuck princess they're into, or Mickey, or whatever. you get to do whatever the fuck you want to do. You get to show up whenever you want to show up. You get to just shop. My sister and I just love going to Disneyland together because we just will like browse shops for hours, and like there's no men to rush us or children rushing us or children touching things and you're worried that they're going to break shit. It's the best. It's the absolute best. And then you can go into downtown Disney and get a beer and just, I love it so much. So we did that and it was the best. And we did like nostalgic things because our dad used to take us to Disneyland a lot when we were kids. And so that felt like a really authentic and fun way to honor him. And then on Father's Day itself, we went to a Dodgers game because Dad was a big Dodgers fan. But I actually have to call him out because when we were growing up, he raised us as Angel fans. And then when we were adults, he switched to Dodgers and then tried to make it seem that like he was always a closet Dodger fan. Like he liked the Dodgers more. Bullshit, Dad. I love you very much. I miss you, but bullshit. You were an Angels fan. It's fine that you switched over to the Dodgers. No judgment. Switch. I don't care. But you don't have to like cover it up as if you were like a closet Dodger fan this whole time. You weren't. You were an Angel fan, and that's fine. Be a bougie Angel fan and then go hardcore with Dodgers. Whatever. Baseball is the only sport that I actually like. I don't enjoy sports. They bore me to tears. Football is like sports for ADHD people, which no judgment, no offense, no anything. It's just for me, I cannot focus on fucking football because it stops every 5 seconds. I tried so many times to like, okay, have a football person here explaining shit to me. I can ask all the questions, but I have so many questions because it stops every like 30 seconds. Seriously, I can't with football. And it's this back and forth motion too. And then it's like stopping. Oh, no, I can't do football. Basketball, I can follow it, but it just gets boring because of the back and forth motion. It's just like this pendulum that just puts me to sleep. I really love baseball. I really do think there is something to that diamond shape. The pace of it, I can follow it. There's shit going on. I know a lot of people get bored with baseball, and that's fine. I get bored with everything else. So it was really great to go to a baseball game and to be there and honor Dad that way. And then so the whole weekend turned into just fun. It was just fun. And, you know, there were times when we were crying and mourning and missing Dad. But for the most part, it was just us holding on to all of the good memories and relishing in the good memories instead of languishing in the grief, which was so powerful. It was really powerful for my sister. She really needed that, and I really needed it too. So I'm so glad I did that, you know, because the practical, earthly Capricorn of me was like looking at finances and being like, this isn't the best use of money. Shouldn't really do this. Shouldn't. I have a rule against shouldn't. I think it's a nasty, nasty word. And it's also very indicative of things that you actually should do. Shouldn't is a word that we use when our social conditioning or a belief that someone else implanted in us is coming up. When we say, I should do this or I shouldn't do this. So whenever I catch myself thinking thoughts like that, I always question it. I absolutely do not regret spending the money to fly out there and be with my sister. Baseball games are expensive now for some reason. Disneyland, don't get me started. That shit was so expensive. Don't regret it. at all. I don't regret a single fucking penny that I put on my credit card. Because that was absolutely what I needed to do that weekend and what my sister needed to do that weekend. And the fact of the matter is money, it's just a cycle. Money just has this cycle. There will always be more of it. I'm never going to allow myself to live in scarcity ever again, because it's so limiting and it feels really shitty. And it's just not true. It's just a lie. We literally make money. We just print it. And if we are resourceful enough, we can make more. You can always make more money. You can't make more time, as cheesy as that probably sounds. I'm really glad that I spent the money so I could have that time with my sister and that time with my best friend and her perfect, perfect baby. And I think that pretty much brings you up to speed on my crazy, crazy life. I hope that if your life is crazy right now, that you take a step back from all of the shoulds, all of the things that you are telling yourself you should do, even though life is crazy, and you intentionally take care of yourself. And you ask yourself what you need in this crazy season of life. And then you just give yourself permission to fucking do it. Give yourself permission to give yourself what you need in this season of life, knowing that it's not going to last forever. Don't fall into scarcity that tells you you're stuck and you have limited resources. It's bullshit. You're never stuck. Resources are plentiful because you are resourceful. And our brains are fucking capable of amazing things when we allow them to. I hope you enjoyed this coffee chat. If you did, let me know. If you didn't, I guess let me know, or just keep it to yourself. No, let me know what you thought. Maybe I'll do these every once in a while. I'm so happy to be back, and I'm making a promise that I'm not going to overthink these podcast episodes, because I put a lot of thought into them, which is good to a point, right? I am my own biggest stumbling block because I get stuck in perfectionism, and I so desperately want everything that I produce for you to be so good, like the best thing possible. But then I get stuck in not producing anything if it's not perfect, or if it's not living up to this standard that I've set up in my head. And so I am making a promise that I'm just going to fucking show up. Sometimes it's going to be gold. It'll be like the best content ever that'll just completely change your world. And other times it'll just be like this, when I'm just sharing my story with you, and I'm going to trust that my story is powerful in and of itself and will inspire you by itself, because that's what stories do. That's why we share our stories. That's why humans are hardwired to tell stories, and why stories last and stay with us for so long. I want to end with a question. I forgot to come up with a question before I hopped on here. Oh, I know. Okay, I want you guys to let me know, what is your favorite Christmas movie? Like your all-time favorite Christmas movie. It's not Christmas unless you've watched it. Okay? I have a few, but A Christmas Story is definitely like one of the top ones. That was one of my dad's favorites, and it's one of my favorites. It's such a classic. So A Christmas Story is mine. What is one of your favorite Christmas stories? Christmas stories. What is one of your favorite Christmas movies? Let me know. Either I'm going to set up, so Spotify has this Q&A thing if you're listening to this on Spotify. So you can answer the question there, or you can comment on the YouTube video or comment on the social media posts or whatever, or just DM me. Let me know. And when you do, you'll also get entered into my monthly book raffle. This month I gave away a Christmas book because it's Christmas in July. So obvi. Whenever you give the podcast any kind of love, a share, a comment, a like, a review, reviews really help with algorithms to make sure that my podcast gets seen and by new people, moms who need it, who need this space, who need this raw authenticity and these thought work tools that I share. So reviews help a lot. If you do a review, take a snapshot of it and DM it to me or email it to me or something. My email is fckitmothering@gmail.com. So that's fuckitmothering@gmail.com, except fuck is without the U. And you'll get entered into my book raffle for July. I don't know what book I'll give away for next month, but I'll let you know when I pick it, when I decide. I have a hard time picking every month because every time I'm like, ooh, I love this one, but ooh, I love this one. I'm such a book nerd, you guys. All right. Have a wonderful week. Shoot me the title of your favorite Christmas movie and do something fun, something that brings you joy. Maybe Christmas isn't your jam. That's fine. You're weird and I don't understand you, but that's fine. All opinions are welcome here. Just do something that brings you joy because life is too fucking short not to. Are you living your one wild life to the fullest? You're not? Why the fuck not? What are you waiting for? The time to live is now, mama. Do not wait until your youngest is in college. Let your dreams hire me for an hour so I can explain how I can help you achieve any goal in your life. You've put yourself off long enough. It's time to pour into you. The link to schedule your 60-minute complimentary consultation is in my show notes. Join the community of Fuck It Moms by following me on Instagram and Facebook at Fuck It Mothering. That's fuck without the U. So FCK It Mothering. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you never miss your weekly encouragement. And please rate, review, comment, and share. All of these things help with the algorithms, so that way when other overwhelmed moms are looking for encouragement, they can find me. Every month, I give away one of my favorite books and a Starbucks card to a lucky winner. All you have to do to enter is write a review or tag me in social media when you share an episode. See you next Sunday, gorgeous.